So the downfall of Trash Taste. It seems that everyone is saying that when they started, everything was like a lot better than it has been. They said we're going downhill. Apparently, ever since the tour, that's what people are saying. We really got to get into it. See what the real stuff is about. Yo, what's good, Vex in the chat? What's good, my guy? What's good? We gotta really talk about this stuff, okay? Like, is Trash Taste really falling? We're gonna have some guests come on and talk as well. Can react to a little bit of the podcast from Attack on Time. We have also people saying the flow is better than Trash Taste, so that's a whole nother conversation, and stuff like that. But okay, so I seen this post on Twitter the other day. Let me make sure. Let me scroll through here to make sure there's nothing like crazy on here. Okay, I think we're good. But I want to scroll through a few of these comments. They just treat it like a job. That's what people are saying. Like, it's just a job to them. Like, they don't really want to be there. And apparently, like, gigguk is like the only one who wants to be there at this point, right? Okay. All right. So we got the tweet that I saw the other day. I get it, but that means they washed. Not fair. I mean, yeah, it's understandable from both accounts, because like it is their job. They have to make money off this. You know what I mean? They put so much into it. They still got to do it. So it's not like they can just really step away at this point. You know. Okay, look. So basically, the tweet was, "This shit about to be ass." Talking about this, the podcast they did on AOT, right? And two people that don't watch anime, and one guy that's like a casual. Oh, brother, the shit stinks. Now, gigguk being a casual is interesting because this man literally be watching. Okay, I watched a little bit, and they don't remember shit, dog. Gigguk was fine for a first-time viewer, but the other two, good lord. Basic, their opinions where they all think the ending was good / fine. Don't think it was super great, but good enough to hear after hearing manga readers. Talking about how Kogias is great. They're so good. When they're not talking about anime or TV shows or sports or they're interested in movies. This is great. I go, this kind of dicks. But it's in their ass. Oh gosh, that's tough. That's so tough. That's so tough. Nah, yeah, I'm glad I could help you on not be blinded. My fault. I was not very prepared. Watching right now, good is carrying. Okay, look, I gotta watch this, right? But basically, the common consensus is hard to watch. The name, I think it's Trash Taste. What can we expect? Basically, they're saying they asked. Basically, they're saying they asked, they washed, whatever, etc., etc. And this tweet kind of blew up a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. How many views? How many? Yeah, it blew up a little bit. 100K views on it. You know what I'm saying? Some quote retweets, some likes, stuff like that. That guy wasn't wrong. Oh, we gotta judge it for ourselves, right, chap? So, I got the podcast put up right here. I'm gonna watch some of it, and we're gonna really get into talk. We're really gonna get into the discussion. All right. Let's see what actually occurred. I'm probably gonna watch about 10 minutes. We'll see what actually occurred, and if they really don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
The final season part 2, I was kind of...
Now, granted, I will say that I'm not going to watch the whole thing, at least right now. Maybe at one point I will. So it could get better as it goes. So I just wanted to have a disclaimer to that. Like, I'm not watching the whole thing right now. I haven't seen the whole thing. But I'm going to react to this, and then we're going to, like, talk to people who have actually been watching the podcast. Because I've seen, like, full disclosure, I've watched Trash Taste here and there, but I'm definitely a casual Trash Taste watcher. I don't watch it that steadily, even in the beginning. So we got Archie in the chat, who I know watched more than me, and then we're gonna have two guys come on as well that are gonna really give us. So chat, give me your opinions on what you think of Trash Taste if you've been watching them, or even just from the pod we about to react to right now. You can also have your opinions on that. I mean, we know I fuck with the Ender, so I think I have showed in the Flows version that I have a well-versed opinion on the ending, as well as hearing out different people. So I'm not going to say like I'm the be-all, end-all.
Final season part 2, I was kind of bored. I
bored?
And Attack on Titan.
Chat, I'm not going to make it through this. There's no way. If you talking about Connor, bro, not loud enough? Okay. Not loud enough. I got y'all. Could be louder. Okay. How's that?
I just fumbled the bag at the
Was that good? Was that good? Let me know. I think that should be good. But bro just said he was bored watching the let me just go ahead and replay that.
The final season part
so y'all can hear.
2, I was kind of bored.
Like, I know that's the intro, but you could think it was ass, right? You could think it's bad, but bored is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, bored is crazy. You could be like, nah, you could be just sitting there like, damn, this shit ass, I don't want to watch it. But saying you're bored is just crazy. How could you even be? Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
And Attack on Titan just fumbled the bag at the end, in my opinion, to the point where like I can't take this shit seriously anymore. These naming conventions are garbage.
This is not a take.
Okay, but look. I know we just started, right? But the naming conventions are garbage. What does that have to do with the anime itself? Like realistically, like if we really talking about it.
Here right now.
Hello, Gigguk, bro. Look, man, I'm gonna make you an offer right now. If you really want to talk about anime, come on the flow, man. We'll talk about anime with you, man. We'll really talk about anime with you. We will really have some anime discussions. You know, you don't have to join the flow. You know, you can say trash taste, talk about what y'all talk about. But like for one pod, if you just want to talk about anime for a podcast, just about anime, because I know you love anime, we're here. We're open. We're open to that. We'll accept you in for one podcast, talk about anime. You know what I'm saying? I know Archie in chat. I'm sure Archie would love that as well, right, Archie? You know, we would be glad to have you to talk about anime, because I know your co-host don't really watch anime anymore. You know what I'm saying? Which is fine. I mean, y'all talk about other stuff, right? But you know, that's a direct invitation. If you want to talk just anime, you know, we have you on whatever. That shit.
The episode of Trash Taste. I'm your host for today, Garn, and joining me once again are the boys. And what can I say? The biggest piece of anime, like the biggest event.
No, that was a good intro. It was a good intro, but still, I had a comment on it anyway. But it was a good. I will say it was a good intro. It was a good intro.
Anime has just dropped, guys.
The biggest piece of anime.
The biggest piece of anime.
It's definitely the anime of all time.
Definitely in the history of anime. Bigger than Dragon Ball. Bigger than One Piece. Bigger than the Bible.
Questionable, but
Too.
I'll take it.
Do you want to reiterate for people who perhaps don't know what the thumbnail is, because they've been living under a rock?
Yeah, so Attack on Titan just finished airing this week, so we thought we'd do a topical episode because we've all seen Attack on Titan, right?
Oh boy.
Right?
Oh no.
Right, surely.
I finished.
This is the. I think this might be the downfall of the pod right here. Is going to be the answer to this question. I've been spoiled, but oh boy.
I finished it.
I finished it.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, okay.
Why are you looking at him?
Yeah,
You're like,
why?
Shit, I thought you were on my side.
No, I watched it.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Why?
Didn't watch it. Crazy. That's just crazy.
You had one job.
That's crazy.
We
You
gotta
had
start
one
off with
job.
this take.
You have one job.
I just don't care about Attack on Titan anymore.
What?
That's just like, okay, it might be because...
Okay, I feel like if you don't care about AOT, you just don't care about anime. Like, which is fine. You don't have to care about anime, but that is crazy to me. Being an anime fan not caring about AOT is kind of insane. If you got, because I'm pretty sure he got to the final season, right? The part 1, part 2, or whatever, and didn't care. Like, I can understand, okay, maybe first, second season you don't care, right? But to get that far and just not care is crazy.
Like,
How far did you get?
I got up to the naming convention. The final season
See?
1.
Okay.
Wait, is that the
I don't
correct
know,
term?
bro.
I don't even know what the fuck
Yeah,
the
the
title of it is.
Doesn't the final season have 3 parts?
The final season is 3
And then
parts.
there's in the third part.
Anime man does not like anime. That's facts. But bro, I'm trying to like listen a little bit before I go on a rant, bro. Cause it's just make me want to rant. I'm not gonna lie, but I want to have more context before I just start ranting. You know?
Oh yeah, okay. So that means I got up to part 2. I
final
haven't
season,
watched
part 2.
I haven't watched the 3rd season.
All right, look. I gotta talk. I honestly don't care about LT. Hey, bro, Vex, I don't think you're like that far though, are you? Like, am I tripping? I mean, look, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's just like, bro, like being that far in and not even caring is that's just weird to me. Like, I don't know. Maybe some people just connect differently. But I still find that very weird to be that far and not care, because it's like, it's just odd. It's just odd, but you know. I don't know. I feel like even not caring is different than like if you don't like it or whatever too. Cause like, I don't know. I don't know. But basically, here's what I want to say. Right? Are you right? Okay. Bet. Okay. So like, I feel as though with this, in terms of a podcast situation, from having my own podcast with the flow, right? I feel like we're not always prepared for our podcast. I will say we're just not. It's true. It's facts. It is what it is. Right? Now, I think we've come a long way in terms of our preparedness. Now, here's where my issue with this does come in. Because again, I haven't seen the rest of it. I don't know how they're going to necessarily orchestrate this. I want to watch a little more so we can actually kind of see kind of how they are going to go about this podcast. So I know they talk about other indies, not just AOT, but how are they going to go about talking about AOT is kind of my question. What's going to be the strategy behind it? Now, my issue comes because I'm always prepared. Archie, I'm talking about like within the scale of the podcast. I'm not going to be like, oh, just Archie, since he's been a part of the podcast, has always been prepared. I mean, that was a lot to say, but okay, fair. I don't know if you're always prepared. Always is an extreme word, though. Are you always as prepared as you could be? I don't know. But before you were around, back in the day, we used to be unprepared as shit. I'm not going to lie. Now we've come a long way in terms of our preparedness. Adding you to the team increased our preparedness levels. I'm not throwing shade at no one, but that's just how we were at the time, right? We just weren't prepared. And now I think us being more prepared during the podcast has improved the podcast. I'm not going to lie. I think it has. You know what I'm saying? It's different than it used to be, but I think I like to say we've gotten better. I hope we have. I hope the viewers would agree, you know, just because we've grown over time, right? I think growth should come with getting better, but this is where I have an issue, right? Supposedly, I guess hopefully we get context while watching this. They decided they were going to do this podcast very close, like quickly, like that day, right? So, you know what I'm saying? But then I see gigguk saying, okay, you have one job to catch up. So if you guys are a podcast, you know what I'm saying, you guys are seen as an anime podcast. I don't know if you are anymore, but Trash Taste was seen as an anime podcast. You guys know, okay, look, we have gigguk. We know he's going to want to talk about Attack on Titan when it is. We may have some input on Attack on Titan when it is, right? Why would y'all not plan this in advance? Like, y'all got how many subs? Well, I didn't mean to click that. Don't worry about that. Y'all, how many subs? 1.6 mil basically, right? 1.6 mil, right? Y'all have an entire team. Y'all schedule your podcast in advance. Why did you not plan on talking about Attack on Titan? Why would you not plan that out and then everyone be caught up in time? It's not that hard to be caught up. It's not. It's not that hard. Y'all did not have to talk about Attack on Titan. But y'all have 3 individuals, well, I would assume, you know, with the other people on the team, y'all came to the consensus y'all were going to talk about Attack on Titan. And if y'all are going to talk about Attack on Titan, why are you guys not all caught up on Attack on Titan? Why is Joey not caught up? He made it to the final season. Just catch up. It's not that challenging to catch up. I understand if you don't care. But then why even talk about it to begin with if you're not going to be prepared to talk about it? That's my issue, right? It would be like Archie saying in the chat, if you want to watch the ALT final, you would have already seen it. That's such an ass excuse. Well, it's not even about that. It's because you're a professional. Like we just said earlier, this is their job. It looks like they don't want to be there, whatever, but it's their job. If you want to, you know, for your job, you should be prepared. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying because it's a podcast, I feel like maybe not all the time. I think it could be a valuable perspective, outside perspective, but I hear you. Yeah, but I get where you're coming from, but like, how are you going to talk about the ending if some people haven't even seen the ending? How can they even have an opinion if you haven't even seen the ending? That's why, like, when we did our podcast, we literally, like, Ichiban, for example, he just hadn't caught up. So he just didn't come on. He was cool with that. He didn't even want to come on because he knew he wasn't prepared. So what's the point of doing this when you haven't seen it? Why even bother? You can have an outside perspective without being unprofessional. Yeah, and then now you see him talking shit on AOT, trying to almost come across as like, oh, well, I don't even want to watch that shit. I'm better than that, you know, whatever. And then here he is talking about Attack on Titan still, because they know it's gonna do well, you know, which is good. I completely understand. It's your job. You got to give views, whatever, right? That's fine, and I respect that, right? But like, why not just catch up for this? Because you realistically, we knew when ALT was getting in for what, like a year? That was plenty of time to catch up. I know you're a busy guy, right? But like, it's not that much time to invest. I mean, realistically, I mean, you have gigguk and Connor who both caught up. Connor doesn't watch anime anymore either. Still caught up, you know? Maybe he just cares a little more. We can get into it, but it's just like, from my perspective, I would rather them shit on AOT as long as they've seen it. Facts. Perfectly fine with that. You don't have to like it. But if you're gonna talk about the ending, why wouldn't you not have seen it? Like from a podcast, from a job perspective, because at the flow, we have less than 400 subscribers. Y'all have almost 2 million subscribers, 1.6 million subscribers, and just come in and act like y'all don't give a fuck. Why is that? And I think that's why people are saying that they've come to a downfall, because they don't even really want to be there no more. And how can you show you don't want to be there no more? By not being prepared. That's a clear identification. I don't want to be there no more. I don't know. That's just me, bro. I had to go on that rant real quick. You feel me? I hate so much people tell me to just drop shows I hate. No, bro, I'm going to keep watching so I can talk my shit. And even if you want to drop it, it's fine. You can drop the show. That's not an issue. But the thing is it like, it's your job almost to like do this shit. If y'all are going to do it, why would you not want to do it right? You know, and look, I guess at the end of the day, like if they don't really want to be there, but they just have to be there, you know, okay, that's fine. Okay, y'all can get a pass. But let's continue watching to see a little bit more of the context, to see a little bit more what they're going to say. But I had to get that off my chest because I just couldn't not say nothing.
Just the 2 hour long.
The 2 hour long ones, yeah. I got up to there.
So you basically just got everything up to the ending bit.
Yeah.
Wait. So so he just has the final 2. Oh my gosh, bro. There's no way. Look at Gigguk, bro. You can see it in his face. He's like, bro, no way you had that much left and didn't catch up, bro. That's crazy, bro. You could have literally sat there the day before this pod and caught up in 4 hours. That's not that hard to do. You might have been busy the day before. You could have done it 2 days before. You know what I'm saying? You could have done it the day of. Fuck it, bro. What are we doing? That's what I'm saying. He looked frustrated. Look at him. This reminds me of me back in the day when I'll be trying to talk about certain topics and motherfuckers weren't caught up, which is fine. It's not their fault, like, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's still frustrating when you're trying to like make content and you can't make the content you're trying to make, or you can't have the conversation you're trying to talk about because motherfuckers is not like prepared. I feel like people have probably felt that way with me too. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe I haven't been caught up on something as well. I'm not going to act like I'm exempt, right? People feel like this, but it's like, again, there is levels to this. Y'all are the biggest anime podcast in the world. Even if you're not an anime podcast anymore, you're one of the biggest podcasts in the world, period. I don't know.
You've only got like 2.5 hours of Attack on Titan left to go, and
Yeah.
you don't have any interest in finishing it?
I'll get to it eventually, I guess.
I'll get to it eventually, I guess. You couldn't do it before this podcast. Let me stop, bro.
So
I've said it.
Like normally we have like a spoiler warning or something, but we, normally we try to avoid. Spoilers,
Hey, Archie, you said like, yeah, like where are you in free room, bro? Look. When we had the free room podcast, I was caught up. Okay, I was so like we if we had another free room podcast, I would catch up. You know what I'm saying? I will get it sorted, you know? And if I'm not, I don't have to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't try to be there and just bullshit it. We try to avoid that from now on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we do another freedom podcast, I'll catch up. And if for some reason we have to do a pod, I'm not caught up, I won't be there. That's fine. Okay? Like, I don't like, it's not even really that crazy. Cause it's like, yes, I don't watch a ton of anime like all the time and I'm not caught up on everything, but if we're going to do a podcast on it and I know in advance, I'm going to make sure I'm ready. You feel me?
But I'm pretty sure we can't discuss all of this without spoiling.
Are we discussing it? I haven't even seen it.
That's what I'm saying. They don't even know if they're discussing it before. What are they doing?
If we do spoilers, people are going to skip right in the start of the episode. So we'll save a little bit of the spoilers for later.
Yeah,
He's thinking of the metagame.
Yeah, because YouTube's going to hate this episode if we do that.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll give you guys a warning when we get
when
to
we
that.
actually get to the ending.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I feel like I watched it. I did watch the ending just out of like commitment. I'm like, well, I'm this far in. I should just finish.
Well, I mean, what? It was a 10-year run, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
I've
it's
been
been
watching
10
it
years.
since it came out. So
Yeah.
Interesting.
2013.
It's crazy.
Like, it really was.
Look, Joey's. You're trying to add like some type of something in here. Gigguk's still like, yeah, this is tough, bro. This is tough. Like I said, if you want to, you know, if you just need a break and you need to, not gonna lie, turn this shit off. This shit is hella unprofessional. look, man. I mean, as a you at the end of the day, if you a podcast, you don't always have to be professional 24/7. So I mean, I'm fine with cutting them some slack on that, right? But I don't know. This seemed rough though. This does seem
really
rough.
is like an end of an era.
Yeah.
Because I think Attack on Titan really kind of grew up with the medium. It was kind of like that first big push of
Yeah, this is true.
oh,
This is true.
anime is like gone from this little niche thing to something that can kind of like meet mainstream culture.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like it kind of, to me, Attack on Titan signified that show from anime growing from something that was a bit more niche to something that now is even like arguably mainstream.
Yeah,
You know?
totally.
Yeah, I think it's very mainstream, and even people who don't like anime are like, oh, I know Attack on Titan.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I remember because I think I got into anime in like 2012, 2011.
Yeah.
And then Attack on Titan was the one that was really big.
Yeah.
And before that, I actually didn't watch subs. I was like, no, I'm a dub only guy. I don't want to read shit. But Attack on Titan didn't have a dub for a very long time, and I was like, well, shit, I gotta watch.
And
the
then
show.
when
Yeah.
the dub came out, it was an amazing dub.
I think the dub is actually pretty good. I think the dub is
The dub, I've watched
Okay,
both.
so let's talk about it as like a whole.
And the dub was actually, for the most part, pretty damn good.
I mean, when I think of the dub, I think of the Armin scream.
yeah. Well, that was kind of iconic.
Which
for
was
being
iconic.
interesting.
I don't remember this one.
You don't remember
It
it?
was like a big meme.
It was a huge meme of the dub Armin scream of like, I think it was like episode 2 or 3 of season 1.
Right.
When like the first big like I guess
I remember this,
twist happens.
Right.
Okay.
And Armin does this scream. And
Okay.
In the Japanese
Look, so they're getting into AOT like as a whole, right? And to be fair, they had input on this shit, right? I'll give them that. And it seems like they're trying at this moment, okay? To be fair. It's getting better once they start talking about the dub, right? Now, I think what we thought of the ending. This is where I want to go to. What we thought of the ending, right? Okay. All right. We're gonna skip around a little bit just to see this part. Okay, but all right, then we're gonna have once I get through a little more of this, we're gonna have our guests go ahead and come on and talk with them about it. I'm gonna go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely I felt like in a little bit of the same boat since the final season part 2.
just saying it out loud is just
You can tell they're both shouldn't feel time. I feel that they are, but I'm not gonna lie, like we do that too sometimes. Like again, it's fine. You don't have to have a completely structured podcast, at least with every podcast. However, with this specific podcast, it does make me feel like you would want to. But I will also say to their credit, right? They didn't title it about Attack on Titan. So, I mean, see, because they get into a bunch of other stuff that's not AOT related. Which is fine, you know, like, but again, I don't know. Let's continue for a bit longer.
so dumb.
That's right. Yeah, I started to kind of check out a little bit mentally.
Yeah.
I think I was like losing my I was like,
Are
okay,
you serious?
yeah. I kind of
The
really
final
felt
season part 2.
I genuinely felt like it was one of the like more boring sections of the show for me. Because
Oh my god.
Talkie
Bro,
talkie talk. Don't
Bro said boring. See, bro, the final season part 2 was boring. I guess when I talk about it, like to be fair, bro, I get it because like it's the thing that came out. Gigguk, I bet you Gigguk was pushing this shit, right? That he wanted to talk about it. You feel me? So I understand. Like I get it, you know.
and then talkie talk.
I'm dying here.
yeah, you can
He's get bro. Bro, Giga, bro, the opening for the flow is still open. If you want to come on as a guest, talk with us for one pod, just to get your anime takes off on a podcast setting with other people. You know, the offer still stands. The offer still stands. We talk anime. You know what I'm saying? We talk anime. Lots of anime. You know what I'm saying? We get that real anime talk. You feel me? That real anime talk.
take it. You know, there's a very big reveal at one point during the show.
Just say that shit, bro. Joey, look, this man does not
To
care.
do with well, there's many big reveals. in
Let's,
Eren.
let's think about some of like the small things that
Okay.
happened in the second season. Wait, what was the opening called again? The Rumbling. That's like a tiny event that didn't have any.
No, fact, just a little
impact on the
tiny
main
event.
story or
Just a little
anything.
tiny event, literally.
But, yeah, the song was the best part of that. I'll be real. The rumbling when that started happening.
Chat, I'm done. Chat. Chat. Bro, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? I'm gonna take a lap. I'm gonna take a lap. I'm gonna take a lap. Yo, chat, we still watch the Trash Taste? I mean, okay. All right, we are. I guess we are. I guess you know, we watching Trash Taste. You feel me? We watch we watching Trash Taste in more ways than one right now. No cap. No cap. No cap.
I felt like it was genuinely just boring.
Boring is so crazy.
Wait. There is so much we gotta unpack here. Why? Boring?
Yeah, I kind of liked there was the reveal before this where it was revealed that Eren had an ability that we didn't know about that had a bearing on the entire story, and I thought that was really cool. And then they just started going on and on about the backstory about where this all came from.
Yeah.
And it just started to feel like I was like, and I know it's not, but it started feeling like super bloated for me in a way that I then also didn't care about the rumbling because it felt like, oh, I know how this is going to end. Like this feels like it's going in a very clear direction, and to me it was like, okay, Attack on Titan was always at its best when you didn't know where it was going.
Yeah.
And you had no idea what was happening next.
This is true.
It felt like that once the rumbling started, it was kind of set into this motion where I thought it was just going to go a direction, and it absolutely just did go
But why?
It's a very safe direction, is the direction it went in.
I was so checked out watching that season. I don't even remember that.
And it felt like
How were you checked out?
Like you were talking about it.
Like, okay, look,
You were
okay.
talking about-
Okay. I sat back and listened for a little bit, right? I understand, okay, we knew the direction it was going in a little more. But this was the build up, the climax of the entire series. You liked it when they didn't know what was going to happen. I feel like there were still twists during the rumbling. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, it does feel to me from kind of saying that it's almost kind of like what you call it, like you just seen so much that it almost feels like he just like can't be impressed anymore. Is that accurate? I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. It's like it has to be something so crazy. Just like some person, you know what I'm saying? Like these kids are youngers out here, whatever, right? I'd be like on their phones all day, TikTok this, short content this, short form content this. Can't do nothing without looking at some shit on their phone. And it's got to be the next big thing to impress them over and over and over. They have super short attention spans. It's kind of comparable to that, where like you've seen so much anime and so much stuff that it's like you just can't really be impressed anymore, and you just kind of checked out an anime, which is fine. This is I'm just talking, you know. But I do feel as though, nah, you could at least preface that, you know, by saying something like, I'm a couple years from being like that. But look, right? Do you think you're a couple years from saying this about a show like Attack on Titan specifically? Hopefully, I don't end up like that. Do you think that this would be you with AOT? I don't know. AOT feels a little bit different. But look, bro, we all grow out of shit eventually. You know, if you go out of anime, you grow out of anime. You know what I'm saying? But this motherfucker right here is not going out of anime. and you can see that he is passionate about anime. I mean, I'm kind of doing that with JJK. I ain't gonna lie, bro. JJK is not that. It just isn't that standard. It isn't that standard. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, in my humble opinion, I feel like AOT's in a whole different stratosphere. I wonder what Connor thinks of JJK, like recent JJK, because I know they talked about JJK before, and they were and I think they were kind of saying it was like mid or whatever, or like was that Joey? I think maybe. I don't know if Connor's seen JJK, but like, I don't know, bro. I would be curious to hear that, because if he feeling this way about AOT, I would be shocked if bro was loving JJK. That would be crazy. People on the internet saying it's like that, but I don't see it. But look, bro. That's the battle shonen with the peak animation. You know what I'm saying? I feel like most people saying JJK is like that would probably say Demon Slayer is like that to some degree. Which, I mean, again, I think Demon Slayer is worse. JJK definitely has more to it than Demon Slayer. I won't like act like it doesn't. But at least Demon Slayer knows what it is and isn't trying to be what it isn't. I will say that. That might be a whole nother conversation. Again, JJK is not bad. I still like JJK. Don't get me wrong. But it doesn't. Again, look, the last episode good. We talked about this last stream. But let's continue.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. I just wasn't paying attention.
Okay, there was a few episodes in that season where I felt like they were just fucking wasting time.
I think
When?
it's the fucking opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
What episodes?
When I saw everyone was very annoyed, because one thing I did notice, I somehow managed to go spoiler free. So I didn't know.
Yeah.
anything about it.
I somehow I went into spoiler 3 as well.
However, I did know that.
Yeah, me too, actually, surprisingly.
Yeah, and therefore I thought the ending was going to be something kind of weird or kind of unusual. But to me, I felt like the ending was about as safe as you could have gone.
As safe as you could have gone? Really? I understand it's safe, but as safe as you could have gone feels a bit crazy. I don't know. Maybe just from the direction it was leading, but
the ending, I can see why people.
fuck chat. I'm in chat.
Because I certainly thought that. Okay, I think.
Oh my gosh, I can't drink water.
I thought it was very messy. In the way it was like.
Well, that's getting me excited to
It
watch
was messy, but it was literally the safe.
Lucky it was safe. I mean, I guess, bruh. I guess.
First outcome. It was like if you're telling a story and you wanted to wrap this up, how do you do it in the way that you think will probably be the most conclusive?
Yeah.
In like a
and will satisfy the most people.
Yeah, and will kind of be like a nice little bow on the story.
Right.
So that's what I felt. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree. It was convoluted and kind of bloated.
A lot of people weren't satisfied. I don't know. Like, I guess it was still good though. It was still good. Like, Archie? Do you feel like Kogiyasu ending was safe? I guess it was. Like, I feel like it's hard for people to not like that. But at the end of the day, like, a lot of endings are I feel like it wasn't that safe necessarily, because like it did try to tie all the plot points back together through like the Aaron and Armin conversation. I don't think that was necessarily safe. Like, he could have gone about it a different way that didn't make it as convoluted, I feel like, but he tried to pull it off. I think he executed it pretty well, but I think that part on itself wasn't really safe. No, because at the time it wasn't done before, it wasn't expected. Again, the AOT ending is not that similar to Kogias. It just has the one specific thing of like the hero, spoilers, you feel me? Dying type shit. You feel what I'm saying? So that was done 16 years ago. Yeah, it's not that comparable, because it's definitely completely two different themes and thematic elements for sure. But I understand it being comparable to some degree. But again, I think it's definitely comparable, and I think, I'm not saying I don't think it is, but like my talk I have, because I know like you all probably saw the pod. If y'all seen the pod, y'all would know my take. But I think that my talk on Megaturtles kind of did for my mindset a little bit on it.
Yeah, it was messy. We'll get to the ending like eventually,
Okay.
but because I can't let go of this like final season part 2 yet.
Okay. Sure.
Because I thought that.
Okay. I think we'll continue watching it. I do want to get to what they actually said about the ending. But I wanna I don't want to keep our guests waiting too long because we actually have one guest now. I took too long for the other one. My fault. I was ranting. I ain't gonna lie. But we do have a guest coming on. So when he's ready to come on, we'll bring him on. But I want to get through a little bit more on this and then try to skip to where they actually talk about the ending, which I guess is here. Like ending explained. Does the ending matter? I guess here probably when they talk about the ending, right? I would assume. Because we don't need to really hear River the Lake. Bro, don't worry about it, bro. It wasn't about me starting the stream late. I just started rambling. That's all it was.
I'm trying to think of if there was like a weak point of it. And I would say the part that
We still got 8 guests though, so y'all can. It's okay.
interested me the most is probably like the lore parts. How I described the lore parts of Attack on Titan with the Titans and stuff like that. It kind of felt like, okay, you're watching a horror movie and then there's like this mystery monster, right?
And then they reveal it.
And then they reveal the mechanics
Right.
of the monster, and you're like, the charm's kind of
Kinda lame.
gone. You know, it's kind of like you have to do it because hey,
I like how Joey's like, yeah.
you've built this mystery
This
up
fucking
and
guy,
hey, you
bro.
need some kind of explanation, but there will never be kind of like that kind of. So you can't look at Titans with the same kind of fear or mystique or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know
as
why
you
they
used
couldn't have
to.
just gone the Ito Junji route and just never explained the mechanics and just left it a mystery.
That would not have worked. Bro, so smug saying that shit too. Like, bro, like, that's not how that shit works, gang. Like, he had to explain that shit for the story. Okay. Do I even need to explain that? Why that wouldn't work? I don't think I need to explain that.
So much of the
They were
plot.
building up to explaining it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the whole
they were
thing.
building up to explaining it, and
That's literally the whole human. That's Marley.
that was
Alright,
definitely
alright,
like, my
whatever.
least. Let's say the part of Attack on
That's
Titan that I
what I
was
thought was
interested in the least.
Pretty
Yeah,
boring.
Oh, do you mean like where the Titans came from? Okay, if they mean where the Titans came from, okay. That's probably what they meant. Okay, my bad. I guess fair.
but I still thought it was like pretty interesting in terms of what that meant for, you know, each character and how each character deals with these revelations.
Wait, do they mean that?
And especially one of my favorite parts of final season.
Did they mean the mechanics of the Titans in terms of where the Titans came from? Or did they mean in terms of like, I don't know.
Part 2 wasn't so much
Because the Rocky paused, but the Ymir shit specifically, that shit was interesting. I don't know, bro.
the event of the rumbling itself. It's how you have all these.
All right, we're gonna move. Let's see what they're talking about here.
Aaron doing. Know what he was thinking, and then he kind of like dumped things up
I
perfectly.
had this thought, and I don't know if it's like blasphemous to say this. When they were
Look at
kinda
his face,
doing
he
a bunch of
won't
the
be-
ending stuff on the final season, I remember sitting there thinking like, man, I feel like if this was Hunter x Hunter, like his way of explaining things, I'd be so into this.
I don't even know, bro. I guess.
It's just a different way.
Well, Togashi built different.
I just took out the way that
Togashi
is,
built
like,
different.
Stupidly, like the way that he'll tell.
Togashi is built different, but Ishiyama's built different. What are we doing?
So cool.
You can say Great Island. It's alright.
There's just so many things that so many of his stories that he presents them.
Uh.
I know this is dumb, but man, it just seems so cool in this world, and I'm so. Into
I
it.
respect
And I
it.
felt like with the Ymir backstory shit, I felt like, man, if Togoshi was writing this, I feel like I'd be so into it. I did have to
the only
like.
way.
There was a few times where I had to go back and watch half of the episode again in part 2.
That is tough.
To,
Yo, Cardiac, yo.
Yeah,
Like to fully comprehend what's
yeah,
happening.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's,
Hold on, I'm about to
It's a
hold
good
on.
and bad thing. It's like cool that you have a show that is so much depth to it that I almost have to pause and have a think. But
Yeah.
also
yeah.
very annoying that I watched this first, and I mean,
So how do you distinguish between who's
Okay.
loyal and who's not when they all share the same bloodline? Like I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand what made the difference.
That is
I'm
actually a
loyal
good question. That's actually a
and
good
the only
question.
person that
That's
shares
actually a
blood
good
from
question.
The same creator. I was just like,
I can already see the manga readers in the comments
There's
being like,
probably
it's in the
Okay, I'm trying to see like
great, decent, even fantastic shows.
if I need any
that we
more
had,
information or
which
not, but
had a really fucking horrible ending,
Yeah.
which just completely ruined the entire reputation of the show. Even though the show up until that point was pretty decent, you know, like look at like Dead Man Wonderland, for instance, right? Like pretty decent show up until the last couple of episodes, and then it just fucking ruins everything. Whereas,
Well, I mean,
you know,
actually, Dead Man Online just never got.
well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's
The
like
manga was bad though.
yeah, the manga was a lot better, right? But like,
No, the manga still sucked.
the manga was better than the anime.
Oh, it was better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the ending,
But not
was
by
terrible.
much, right? Like, but like,
Yeah.
you know, just having even a good or decent ending does wonders for a show. Look at like, you know, why do you think like, say like Code Geass, for instance, is still talked about to this day?
But I feel like
because it has a
it's-
goated ending.
It's
yes, but okay. Does the ending matter? Okay, look, right. I do. So does the ending matter? So he's talking about it, talking about Code Geass, and doesn't know the ending, so he doesn't know they're comparable.
most stories always go for a safe ending.
I think.
Not
Yeah.
most stuff.
Or what? I don't even
always
know.
Go for the ending that is kind of being telegraphed the entire time.
But I would
Well,
rather take a
Chaotic,
sick
yeah.
ending than a shit ending.
That's
you
fair.
know?
That's
Like,
fair.
It's
I mean,
very risky.
Correction, most anime I watch don't even get endings.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
Actually just getting an ending in and of itself is actually pretty
I-
rare.
Nah,
fucking
fair.
agree.
Okay, they're just rambling about like endings. They don't
I
really.
feel like it's
They're not really talking about that shit anymore. Did they talk about anything else here? Like,
way complicated.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
feel like you just do a simple ending, right? Don't do
Yeah.
anything crazy. I think that's what they went for.
Yeah.
What
What did you think of the ending?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was exactly what I thought was going to happen. Like the
Yeah.
okay,
moment
really
the full
interesting.
season piled on
Interesting.
when the fuck started. it was just clear that it was going there.
Yeah.
Like it was. There's like I couldn't. See
I guess yeah, how else could it end is fair,
it
but
could have been another alternative ending, but I don't think they would have gone for
Like
it.
they didn't try to challenge it.
No,
No,
it
no.
felt very obvious what was going to happen.
Because is it true that
really,
the
I don't
ending to
know.
the anime is slightly different? to
It
the
is
manga
slightly
ending?
different, so I had to look into this because I was like, I need to know.
This is a motherfucker that's prepared for the podcast. He looked into it. You feel me? I don't know. Crazy,
Yeah.
Why the fuck manga readers were so
crazy
pissed
concept.
Right.
off. Some of it completely fucking stupid and invalid.
Right.
Like it got to the point
Like the
where-
complaints or the ending?
the complaints.
Oh, right.
Like like from what I understand, and manga readers, you can tell me if I'm wrong because I didn't experience.
Oh, they
it.
will.
Okay.
They
There were
will,
some
yeah,
things where,
facts.
I'm like, there was one line. Can I say this line?
That's what I'm saying. Interesting that Connor knew that Amy was actually in love with King Fritz. He predicted it all. Bro, literally, bro.
Okay.
That's hilarious, man.
There was a line that was changed from. The
I do feel
manga
sorry.
to the
Hey,
anime.
hey, I feel sorry for Giga too. The offer to come on the floor as a guest is still open, Giga. If you're watching, it's still open. It was never closed. It's still open from when I offered it earlier. Type shit.
And it was a line where Armin thanked Eren for becoming a
Yeah,
matchmaker.
yeah. Okay, I'm curious to see their opinions on this. Let's see what they say about
What is
this.
he, a true crime?
Let's see what they say about this.
Right.
That was based content, Aaron. You did a good job. Kind of
We're
high.
gonna get a 20-part series out of
It
this.
it
Yo,
it feels.
And I'm like, ooh, that's a spicy line right there.
It feels like they just don't really have analysis. They don't really have an analysis for this ending, which again it is fine. But again, it just feels unprepared. I see what people were saying, but again, like it seems like they just been waffling. Like again, I haven't watched the whole thing, but it seems like it's been a lot of waffling, a lot of just talking, which again is a podcast, but there's not real conversation going on about like the ending itself. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just kind of waffling. Even when I was watching this part, how the ending was explained, they didn't really get into it that heavily. Again, this part, I was watching snippets. So correct me if I'm wrong. If y'all watched the whole pod, or who, and if someone's reacting to this, maybe too, correct me if I'm wrong. But which is fine. It's not the end of the world, but it's just a preparedness thing. At this point, why do people have serious talk expectations on anime from Trash It as a collective? You're right. I think this specifically, I can pull back up if I can pull back up Twitter. I think this specifically, you know, this specific podcast kind of determined the downfall of Trash Taste in terms of being an anime podcast or even a podcast in general. People watch this because they're like, oh, it was even titled The Biggest Anime Just Ended. So they must have taken some heat for this in the comments. Like, if we can go to the comments of the actual podcast itself, they must have taken some sort of heat from this shit. Poor Garn. I can tell you really wanted a discussion about this. Yeah, no one else came through. Type shit. All I gotta say is, yikes, for people who care so much about the series, only Garn has something to say. Thank you all for carrying this episode. I was looking forward to it, but left disappointed my evening is... Damn. Troy was surprised when he heard Connor finish the show. I thought you were on my side. This is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were on my side. You feel me? That was a crazy comment because it's like, oh, I thought you were on my side of not being prepared. Like, you're better than other people because you're not prepared. That's an interesting way to look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's not how I would look at it personally. But hey, you know, hey, it is what it is. The episode was the world's biggest blue balls. Literally, the boys have been talking about how much they look forward to the AOT ending for ages now. Joey couldn't give two shits about it. I mean, people change, I guess, bro, but it does suck because if that is true, you know, if that is true, they haven't talked about this, the viewers would have wanted to see their opinion. They would have known that and still were not prepared. And Gigguk was trying to carry, but I understand from my own personal experience, it is difficult to carry. It is difficult to carry when no one else is having the conversation with you. It's tough, bro. It's tough. Joey has always been, even when he actually made anime content, for being surface level. Connor was never a discusser of anime. Gigguk is the only one whose opinions and insight have ever been respected. Has always been criticized. Yeah. I get that. I get that. But for this specific podcast to not even be prepared, like, look, if they were prepared and had the conversation and they just weren't respected in what they were saying about it, okay, right, whatever. But at least then we wouldn't have comments like this right here. This episode was the world's biggest blue ball. So the boys have been talking about how much they're looking forward to the AOT for ages now. Joey couldn't give two shits about it. We wouldn't have comments like this. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't have if they actually were prepared, gave their opinions, even if people didn't respect their opinions or think they were good opinions, at least they would have had able to have a better discussion about it. Which again, like, it's not the end of the world. It's their job. They're doing it. They're trying to give you whatever, right? But when we have a discussion about this, again, y'all have almost 2 million subs. And these people have been watching y'all. They have dedicated fan base, want to see y'all opinions on the show. And this is what you give them. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Truly. It's unfortunate. Connor Oshinoko is cringe. Joey LT is too weird. Garn, who is actually watching and enjoy anime these days, slowly dying inside. Basically, Trash Days 2023 anime reviews in a nutshell. I skimmed this pod. I see this perfectly. It's tough. The fact they had a retitle says it all. I guess at least someone acknowledged there's something wrong about the episode. Hey, man. It feels like this pod is what was the culmination of everything that people I've heard rumblings about for years. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Trash Days. Well, I don't know about years. I mean, years, a year, whatever. In terms of people, because of not really caring anymore, not really wanting to be here, not talking about anime, whatever. It feels like it's kind of a culmination of all of that in one episode because AOT spanned for so long. All of these guys have been making content pretty much the entirety of AOT. And then, you know, it's actually crazy how little Joey contributed to this episode. Bloke could have just stayed home, nothing would have changed. Why not? Why not just stay home at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, this goes back to the flow. Like, they could have had a guest on. Like, look, we had, like, for example, when we did our AOT pod, each pod was a cut up. He didn't even want to come on. He didn't come on. We had a guest on. Again, they might be obligated to come on, like, contractually or whatever, right? Which is fine. You know, if that is the case. But it's tough, bro. Breaking news, Garner suffering from severe back pain. It's literally every single comment. Kind of disappointed in Joey. The least he could have done his homework before the episode. It really disappoints me after rewatching one of the Trash Taste older episodes from 2021 when they were all, even Joey, super excited about how the later parts of AOT would progress. I remember being excited to hear their takes after the show concluded back then and have them discuss it. But no, instead we get a boring, flat out, uninteresting discussion where Gaunt is really the only one willing and eager to engage in real discussion and go deep into the nitty gritty of the show. But again, they did this podcast because they knew their fans wanted to see the podcast, but they were not prepared. And I don't know that shouldn't, you know, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Anyways, though, man, it just feels like a culmination at this point, to be completely honest. You know, that feels like what it is. But I do want to get some clarification on this. So we do have a guest that's gonna be joining us here. Man, let me read this comment real quick. Kind of I don't know, maybe it's because I haven't seen them look forward to the ending, but even from the comments, I just see it as it's anime fans expecting something that the podcast isn't. But then why try to even for this podcast even go into that like that, you know? What I got from this is I'm better than them. I mean, shit. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and bring my dog up here, man. And I have some conversations about Trash Taste as a whole. You feel me? Let's do that. It does feel like a downfall, but again, when I was watching them early on, I wasn't as tapped in as others. So it's kind of like I can't necessarily speak on fully like on everything, you know. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I bet we got my guy, Mr. Kardiac, in the building. Trash Taste Savant.
Well, about that.
About that. You know.
I had to get off the Twitter fingers and, you know, hop into, how would you say VC? Like as a word? Visa?
Yeah, type shit. Visa. I like that out of you. Visa.
Visa or Vika?
Hop into Visa. Visivica.
Something like that.
Visica.
Speaking of chat and shit, what the fuck are these Trash Taste guys?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
God. Love waffling about. Jesus Christ.
Okay, man. So I know you saw some of it. So what was your like initial thoughts like seeing that?
Man, it's what I expect. Like, look, as someone who was formerly like an avid watcher of Trash Taste, I mean like year one Trash Taste. Like I haven't really seen nothing from them too recently for real. It's not an anime podcast, and like any hope of it being an anime podcast is like very much out the window. So and granted, like you don't have to be an anime podcast to talk about the ending of the biggest show in the world, opposed to what, Game of Thrones. So like, I get that part, but even still, right? I feel like there's a level of projection that specifically some of the comments that you might have brought up had of just like, oh man, this is the anime that, you know, it's so big, pause, it's so huge, pause, it's so all encompassing that like, oh man, Joey has to feel a certain type of way about, like, Connor has to just have something to say.
And no, they did not. They did not.
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't. Like, there's nothing you can really do about that. But also I feel like that expectation, and granted, this might just be, you know, as a result of me not watching Trash Taste in the past year and a half. I don't know if they invited people to like have that expectation of like them having something to say about this. Like, yeah, they might have said like, oh, we're looking forward to the ending. Well, yeah, it's the biggest show since Game of Thrones.
Right.
Same way they were looking forward to Game of Thrones ending. Niggas didn't make a video about it.
True.
I mean, like, I don't. In terms of like what people wanted, aside from it was cool. I've never seen Connor have an opinion that goes farther than it was cool. I've never seen that. Unless it was about like British food. So like
beans on toast.
I don't know what. Yeah, like they were talking about like breakfast in America compared to British breakfast and stuff. And he got like antsy about it. I'm like, oh, first sign of emotion I've seen from this guy. But like
Crazy.
aside from that, like I don't know why anyone would expect like more than a sentence or two of their opinion. Like for real, for real.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's tough though, man, because I know you probably seen like Gigguk was like struggling. I guess that's probably how it's been like through most of Trash Taste, probably though too. Like he just trying to
Well, through
carry
the anime
combos. They
talk
don't
for
care.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. That's
But
just
he's the only
sad
one
though.
it's like he's the only one that's actively watching shit. And
Yeah.
like at first it was memes. Like it's been memes on their Reddit or in the comments or just like in general discussion about them for a long time now. But what's it called? Now just because it's Attack on Titan and people are looking for a reaction or words or an announcement or some type of analysis, now it's an actual like problem or criticism.
Right. Right. And I guess like, but I don't know. I guess it's because it seems like they were actually trying to do a podcast on this. You know, I guess like before they weren't like just having anime podcasts. I guess that's part of it. Like this was specifically this, and they weren't prepared even. You know.
Oh, that's the only thing they talked about from like sun up to sundown.
I mean, damn near the entire
I
pod.
thought,
Yeah.
I about to say I thought it was just like maybe like the first hour or something.
Yeah. I mean the pod. Well, the pod. Okay, it was like
Let me
every
actually let me
part
go
of it.
on.
Yeah. It was like an hour and 15 probably, like an hour and 15.
In a 2 hour episode. Well, less than 2 hours. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay.
Looking at the actual like chapter marks and stuff,
Yeah.
it does look like, at least just by title. And granted, you do this titling in hindsight, and you do it.
They actually
Honestly, just
changed the
for
title.
fun.
Did you see that? They changed it.
I did see that they changed the title. Did they change the thumbnail?
I don't think so. I think they just left it. I'm pretty sure it's still AOT, right? So yeah, it's still AOT. I think that's what it was to begin with.
Well, regardless, that could be for a number of reasons. They could have just been. It could have just seen that the biggest anime didn't do too well in terms of recommendation.
I don't know though. It makes me feel like because they might have changed it because people were upset. Like I don't know.
Potentially, it could be for that. It
Try to
could just
mitigate
be for
some of that.
YouTuber type shit. It depends on how early they got the pushback and honestly who they got it from. If they got it from someone who's like had hate tweets before, I'm sure that didn't really matter.
Right. Right. I mean
what's it
that was the
called?
first hate tweet I had seen on them in a bit. That specific tweet I had pulled up. And I would assume
Yeah.
there was probably more than that. You know, like I hadn't seen too many because I guess people now they got called out. Yeah. No, Archie's saying they got called out pretty bad. I see it because I guess at the end of the day, it's like they had really just been trying to market themselves as rambling, right? And I think this
Yeah.
pod, people expected more because it looked like they were going to do more. It looked like that's what they were going to try, and they did not. And that was what the issue was, I think.
And I can see, like I said, I can see some of that, especially because a majority of the pod is dedicated to just AOT. I mean, they discuss like other endings, but
Like,
it's stemming
Bro,
off
Joey
of
wasn't even caught up.
AOT.
Like, that's crazy.
Like he didn't watch the ending.
No. He didn't watch the specials. He didn't watch either special.
Oh no, that's crazy.
See, this is the issue. Like, I literally went on a whole rant earlier about this. Like, I was like, bro, like at the flow, like we have less than 400 subs and we're making sure we're prepared. Like, we weren't always like this, right? But like now we are, right?
Yeah.
And like they have almost 2 million subs and bro can't even get caught up and he had the two specials left. Like, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. They could have planned this way in advance. We knew when the ending was coming out for like a year.
I mean, I'm about to say, I'm sure they did. Very rarely.
Apparently it was last minute. Apparently Gigguk decided like, oh, we should do this. Like that's what I heard. I don't know how much truth there is in that, but you know.
I'm sure it was something like they probably mentioned it before, like, hey, the ending's coming up type shit. That's gonna be something that they're gonna want our opinions about. And the last minute thing was them gathering to record it and then to drop it like suddenly.
Yeah.
Because usually
makes sense.
they record episodes like 3 weeks in advance. This had to have been recorded within the past like
because it came out
week at the very least week and a half.
Yeah, because it came out not even that long ago, and like the ending, like comparative to the ending, it probably came out like what, like a few days later than the ending, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. So I'm sure the recording and like, hey, we're gonna get this up within the week aspect of it was last minute.
Mm.
But in terms of like knowing that the Attack on Titan ending was coming out and that they were all going to watch it and that they
They were all
were all
going to watch
talk
it,
about it.
supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. But I don't know, man. Even from the just like blood waffling like conversations that have taken a majority of their content over the past few months, I've still been told that Joey's like the least contributing on that. Um,
Shock.
so I don't know, man. Like I guess I've flip flopped on like Joey over the years because like when I first started watching like AnyTube and going through like some of the older AnyTubers, I found some of his content like really cool and like
Right.
really invigorating. Then over time, like I just saw a level of like elitism in how he discussed certain things.
You can see
And
it in this
granted,
pod.
like
You can see it in this pod even. Like he was acting like he was
well,
too good for like the for AOT.
insane.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Because like at times he could just be like very just like anti whatever is popular.
I guess. Yeah.
And
It's like him,
so if that's just real and ugly yet again. I mean, I guess that's why they're not an anime pod.
Yeah.
I that just this just what's it called?
Establishes kind of.
Yeah, reestablished to everybody like why they don't talk about anime on this podcast and why everyone's okay with it.
Mhm.
Because no one wants to hear
This
Joey talk
bullshit.
about anime from 5 years ago, gigguk carry, and then Connor have like surface level opinions.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, like that's I don't know. Like you wanted that for 2 hours? Like that's what y'all wanted? Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hey, okay.
That's what you got.
So I am probably I'm gonna like post a clip of this, probably called like the downfall of trash taste or something, just because like, you know, I feel like that could be, you know, get some clicks or whatever. But okay, this is part of the reason I brought you here, right? Because you were an avid watcher before of Trash Taste. Do you feel like Trash Taste has took a nosedive? Because I've heard from a few people that like they just don't even seem like they want to be there anymore, like on any pods altogether, right? And it's like Gigguk's like the only one who really seems like he cares at all. And like, do you feel like there's been an extreme, like, well, not necessarily extreme, do you feel like there's been a downfall, like a clear downfall since the beginning, like to now, I guess?
They started this shit in COVID. There was absolutely nothing to do. And they live in that's when they first moved to Japan. So Japan was on ultra lockdown.
Right.
They had just gotten there. They had nothing to fucking do. So any type of like enthusiasm that they had at the start, I don't expect. I know it's not, and it will never be that way again. Right? The level of planning, the level of like, oh, I can't wait to talk for 2 hours. Like that shit is gone. Connor's a full-time streamer. And also like he's so beyond this anime shit and any type of like audience that it garners. And that's still a large part of like Trash Taste base.
Right.
The other base is like British people looking for British people to talk about British people things in Japan. But like a majority of it is like their established audience from their channels from like 3 years ago. Because neither their channels, with the exception of Connor, nor the pod has seen like crazy growth outside of that niche. Even if you look at like the top pods from the past like year and a half or whatever, it's still things that like they'll talk about on their stream that and if you look at the comments, if you look at the comments on their stream clips, if you go on Twitch to look at their chatters, it's a lot of the same faces. Very similar to shout out to Archie's interview or our talk that we did a couple of months ago, but very similar to Nux Taku and his what's it called? Fake diversification. That's what I called it. I think Trash Taste has it a little bit better, you know, because like of course like Connor saw like meteoric growth. But in terms of like the pod specifically and like their performance on that shit, they got other shit going on. Like Joey's trying to be a culture vulture with fashion and shit. tried that little anime game show. I think that shit failed. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like it
Um,
did. I think. Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
I feel like it flopped.
Yeah.
And so like in terms of okay, having this big set that you invested so much money into, this big crew that you invested so much money into in the middle of fucking Japan, uh, that honestly is like reaching back to the past in terms of like the audience that you're trying to entertain. Yeah, like why would they want to do that shit? Especially when there are better ways to what's it called, to do that type of content, like just like dudes waffling on camera. Like
Mhm.
there's better ways to do that content now, like through stream. And
It's been
granted, they do have
expanded.
Trash Taste After Dark. Um,
Does
I don't
that does
know.
that do well? I don't know. I haven't checked too much of that out, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't. I only even
Check it
look
out.
up that channel. What's it called? Every now and then. Um, but even just the existence of the pod in general, I I don't see them stopping anytime soon because from my understanding, the pod is the only reason why
Maybe it's
they
just
were
a
able
green
to get in
flag.
contact with some of those companies to start streaming anime individually,
Mm,
which apparently they're doing like pretty consistently now. And like I'm talking like airing anime,
really?
like
Well,
current,
like what?
yeah, like Zon 100 type
But
shit.
what's even the point? Like they don't like anime.
Branding to capitalize on
Branding.
that audience.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
everybody that's subscribed to Trash Taste fucks with anime. They know that if they want to make money, if they want to get a brand deal, if they want to put out content to get views, to do something with it, they can go back into that pool and it can be successful.
So Archie did just
Um,
say they're like Nuxtaku. Like that is compare. Like I feel like that compares a little bit to how he tried to come back and pivot back into anime when he saw he was falling off. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you talked about that before. That I guess they always know that okay, if they go back to anime, they can get the views. Nux didn't quite get that as it doesn't have that as good as they do. But you know, I think it
yeah,
has a as a compare. There's a comparison there to be had.
it's similar. It's similar. It's the same. Is there another creator that's like that?
I
Or
will.
like
I
they just
will.
always have the well of anime to go back to.
You could even I don't know. I don't know how much of a good comparison this is, but I was gonna say like, let's keep it a buck with basketball. You know, is that a decent? I thought that's a decent comparison. Maybe like if they go back
Eh,
to basketball, they usually do better, right? Or no?
only reason why that's different is because um
They have an audience house. They have a well, you know, most of the audience still watches, I guess. Anyway,
I, I don't know. I think there was a harder line between like the audience growth of like for them outside of basketball and like Trash Taste. Like when Trash Taste fully committed to, yeah, we're just gonna be talking shit. Like they saw a hard decrease in growth, right? Like
right.
I'm not saying their numbers went down,
This
but
isn't
they
like
were
in the
not growing. Like when they went on tour, they didn't grow. When they had like Ludwig, Anthony Padilla, Lily Pichu,
Yeah.
all these people like come on to the come on to the podcast. Uh, they were going on tour. They did the Trash Taste Awards. Uh, they had announced the tour. Blase, blase, blah. They didn't grow. Like they stayed like pretty stagnant. And then over the past like maybe like year, if not like half a year, since they've been back from tour, like at least like their viewership numbers have just like gone down.
Yeah, like that's what I heard.
But
I
you
think
always have the well. You always have the well of putting Deku in a thumbnail and getting 800K. You always
yeah.
have the well of uh talking about the One Piece live action, which I'm sure they talked about and potentially had maybe better opinions or better formed
Damn.
opinions or whatever on. Um
The views have fallen off considerably. I'm looking at this right now. Like there was a
yeah.
point seven. Let me see where like it stopped. Like 6 months ago, like every pod got a mill, and now like
I'm about
they
to say they
haven't
couldn't
they
do
don't
less
hit a
than a
mill.
mil.
They hit less than a mil like
Yeah.
every single pod. The only times they don't, they hit more than a mil is they have like a big guest. Other than that, they never hit a
Yeah.
mil anymore.
Like they had abroad in Japan. Like
Yeah, and then Hasanabi, that one hit 2 mil, but other than that, just add them again the numbers.
yeah. And so you started to see like a pseudo transition to them, like try to just go like try to use their like non-anime inspired or non-anime community like friends or connections.
Mm-hmm.
And like those people just haven't stuck around because they don't give a fuck about whatever the hell three British people are going to talk about with
Right.
an anime base. Like they just couldn't care less.
Right. So it's just really
But
stagnant.
also, yeah, so it's stagnated. In terms of quality, I just haven't watched anything like super recent. Well, actually, that's not true. I watched the Eye Patch Wolf video.
I did watch some of that too. Yeah.
Eye Patch Wolf was amazing. And like his chemistry with Gigguk was really cool. I don't think the other two really knew him, which, like, granted, that's that's not too uncommon for a podcast to not
that happens
know
on
a
the flow
guest
and
that
shit
they
too, yeah.
invited. Yeah. But in terms of like chemistry of just like bouncing off each other in terms of questions or whatever, even when they use someone from their anime base, it was still okay. If Giga's not interacting with them, this is kind of weird. This is kind of awkward. These people don't really look like they need to be in the same room with each other.
That's tough, man. Like, yeah.
So if you want to take that as an example of like them falling off, I suppose.
I will say also, I don't know how much you watched since they came back from tour, but RJ, I believe, or it was RJ or Urzi, said like since they came back from tour, it's just been like bad. Like you can just tell that they just do not give a fuck anymore, like at all. Like, which is tough.
It's crazy.
Like, I guess that reflects in the views. It's just like at this point, it almost seems like they just kind of have to. And Archie's like, at this point, I don't even think they want to grow anymore. It feels like it's just inevitable that they're just going to end the pod. It just feels like at this point, it's like, okay, how much can we just get out of this before it's like falling off to the point where there's just no point in doing it, and then we'll just stop. That's kind of what it almost seems like.
It will be interesting to see the lead up to I guess episode 200 is the next milestone. I'll probably come up midway through next year.
Yeah.
Not a little bit before summer. So I guess we'll see in the lead up to 200. Funny enough, I actually know another podcast that ended at episode 200. Shout out the Secret Podcast, man.
Okay.
Love
I do remember you telling me about that one.
Man, I love them guys, bro. But yeah, I can definitely see a reason for like a decline of quality or decline of energy or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's not that it doesn't make sense. It's just like it's just tough, bro. It's just tough. It's just tough to see.
Yeah, because it makes money for them too. Like Jesus Christ,
I feel like that's got to be the reason. And I mean, they have these employees now. They probably have contractual obligations to fulfill with the podcast. Like, it would be very hard for them to stop. I feel like at this point. So I guess maybe they're just trying to go until they can stop. Almost. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I will say though, like it is funny because like they're almost in 200 and the flow's 300 something right now. So, well, that's counting shorts. So I don't know exactly where we're at. We might still be the 200s, but
Oh, you talking about just videos on the channel?
Yeah, including the lives. I don't know how many shorts we have. I have to count the shorts, but I don't think it's over 100. So, we're definitely in the 200s at least. For sure.
Who's the better creators? Come on.
That's a good question. What we saying? What we saying? From your expert opinion, Kardiac, what would you say?
I mean, 200 is bigger than 300. I mean, 300 is better than 200. Excuse me.
I know, but like if you watch the Flow Pod, you watch Trash Taste, like what's like better to you? You think like what's like if we have the
in terms of
conversations,
just creating conversation, y'all are more entertaining for sure.
So like if we had their set type shit,
I wouldn't even say you need their set. Even like a. It's been a while since I've checked on Volume 1. I think the last time I
Oh yeah,
checked on
Volume
was the last
1.
time we talked
Yeah,
about Volume 1.
shout out Volume 1, man.
That's a set. That's a set and a half.
Yeah, their set's sick, bro. It's so good. I bet they.
Oh, another.
You know, let me see how they doing.
I
They
was
doing
about to say another group of people that had a discussion on the Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I was really just. I should check that out. See, because like that's one thing with that. Every time I talk about a Volume 1 episode, they bring the energy every time. Every time, the energy's always there.
Even if it's some like dumb shit,
Literally.
like.
Like they just
Like
love it, bro. Like they just love what they do. You can just tell. Like it just comes out. Like they're like fucking put on these crazy cosplays like for like random shit. Like they could be like the most random thing, and those like still like have like some type of like JoJo's cosplay. Just it's and they do reactions and shit now. Like that's dope,
just
man.
whatever themed.
Yeah, they have a good time, man. I like that. I like that of them. Dang, they have 500 something shits. That's crazy.
But that also include did they? Yeah, I could have sworn they had gone on a short boom. Yeah, they did. But for a minute, this isn't crazy. How many rows is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I have to check out Volume 1.
7,
So Archie, I think you might enjoy Volume 1. I could see you enjoying Volume 1. I do wonder. Like let's say that Trash Taste does end. Does that mean that like other anime podcasts get a boom from that? Like does that happen or no?
I don't know because there's no reason for them to be eating up like other what's it called other anime podcasts like views anyway. Aside from just being Gigguk, Joey, and Connor.
That's what I'm thinking, because they may like still be holding on to that. You know what I'm saying? Like the people watch them are like, man, like these are my favorite anime creators. I still want to watch them. So then if they stop their podcast, they're like, shit, I actually still want to watch a podcast, and I like anime. That's why I started watching Trash Taste. So let me find another anime pod, and then boom, maybe you never know. Hey,
the reason why I can't even say that because I don't know if you remember when Augie and them had started a pod. I think it was Augie and
Mass.
Ronan.
Oh, you talking about the what you call it?
Castaways.
Castaways, yeah, that was Mass. Energy, I think, was one of the guys. And then Moon Doggy was like the editor, but he started coming on the pod and stuff. I watched a little bit of their stuff. Yeah,
even they started. I believe it was us around the same time that Trash Taste was like, yeah, we're not gonna talk about anime a lot anymore. So like there was definitely like a sentiment in the community of like, okay, and also that was like a dead time for even like video essayists in the anime community. So like people were just looking for anime content on Spotify, on YouTube, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And that pod didn't do no numbers.
Yeah.
And it was new. It was from a couple of creators who were like booming in the community, Mast and fucking what's his name? Augie.
Yeah.
Augie was looking like, closest thing to a rookie of the year. He had what, 25K like his first year.
Shout out to my dog.
Something like that. Mast, I mean, he's at what, 400 now?
Nah, 3. I don't think he ain't got to what's he at?
Oh, he ain't get 400.
370. Oh, he's damn near close to, damn, I didn't realize it was that close to 400. Damn.
Close enough. But he's like,
shout out to Mass.
He's the closest thing to that like anime creator middle class type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in terms of like newer creators, he's up there. It's like him, Ronan.
Ronan's got a bit of a like resurgence, because I know there was a while he was kind of stagnated, but he's got a pretty big resurgence hitting that 100K. Because I know he was stuck at like 40 for a minute. So
yeah. So like if a pod like that like didn't do nothing, at least from what I remember, I might be wrong.
They weren't that consistent though. They didn't put out too much stuff.
I do remember they were not consistent because I was like looking for episodes and shit. But
like
I don't know. They was titling that shit.
That was me. That was me without it wrong for real.
Well, That was all of us with loud and wrong. The cast was it the Castaway?
I don't know. I think they might have deleted the channel, possibly. Wait.
If I type in Castaway Anime Podcast and nothing comes up, it's gonna be insane.
There's a Castaway podcast with 6K. That's not them though.
No,
Oh, here they are. It's still
deleted
here.
the
It's still here. I found it.
channel.
No, it's here. It's here.
Uh,
It's at the Castaway Podcast. If you type in @ it's there. Yeah, they only put 6 episodes out. So, I don't know.
what was it? Oh,
I mean, the first one got 3K, 2K, and 2K. I mean, like.
oh, these aren't anime titles at all.
Yeah, in
Okay.
fact, they're not. They're
Never
not.
mind.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't really capitalize on
The
that
closest
shit.
one was probably the Set the Programmer one. Or I guess it's they tell that Attack on Titan a little bit.
And
That's
even
crazy.
that, you know.
Bro, you remember that whole bro? That seemed like so long ago to Set the Programmer arc, bro. Damn.
I know. I was
That was
gonna
some
say that
wild
was
shit.
like a year ago or something. Well, I mean, 9 months, a year.
Yeah, time's
basically,
flying.
but I know, bro.
I missed out.
I gotta upload this video.
Hey man, it's how long since you uploaded? Shit.
It's like
Oh
4 or
my
5
gosh.
months.
Anyways, man, you got any concluding thoughts on Trash Taste as a collective?
Retire. You're old. No one likes you.
Are they who's their NBA comparison?
Chris Paul.
What is it? What is it?
Niggas is just
The
picking role
Brooklyn
merchants.
Big Three, bro.
Oh my god! Not
The
even
Kevin
At least they
Garnett.
have.
Kevin Garnett. Who else?
Oh,
Paul
you
Pierce.
calling that a big three is ridiculous. You're ridiculous. You're trolling.
Yeah, I gonna that's disrespectful to Trash Taste a little bit, Loki, but
calling
was funny.
40-year-old Kevin Garnett, 40-year-old Paul Pierce,
bro,
50-year-old.
they tried
Jason
to
Terry,
market
a
it like
big
that though. They did, didn't they? They
No,
were
it was not
were
those
trying.
3, but like it was like the starting 5. It's like, oh shit, oh they were all stars within the last 30 years. Oh my god.
kind of like that the Lakers, the Kobe, Powell, Dwight, Steve Nash, like
No,
that
not
team.
even like those Lakers.
But that
Remember
wasn't that bad.
when Dwight Rondo, when Dwight and Rondo were on that team in 2020, and like people were like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
they have like 5 Hall of Famers on this team.
And Russ, but Russ was there too. That time.
No, not was Russ. No,
No, he wasn't there at that time. But like, I think that when Russ was there, they were trying to push that because I think they had somebody. Who else did they have? They had somebody else. I don't even remember.
Maybe
I'm
Melo.
tripping.
I don't know.
Melo. Yeah, no, I think it was Rondo, Melo, Dwight, and
Yeah.
then AD and Bron. I think that was the 5. Actually,
Yeah, no.
that's so nasty.
This team is 15 Hall of Famers. I'm like, yeah, and they're all 40. Who cares? Stop talking about this shit. Fuck.
Yo, what's good, Alex? What's good, my guy? What's good? What's
They
good?
just be saying everything.
No, true, man, true. So final thoughts is they're washed. At the end of the day, look, I mean, hey, to me, it's like my final thoughts on the podcast in general, like especially the AOT one as well. I get why they did it. I understand it's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? It's their job, whatever. But it's just disappointing. I think that's the word of the day for that. It's disappointing. Should you be disappointed? Probably not, because we literally have Kardiac here saying this has been Trash Taste damn near since day one. It's not been an anime pod. If you expect anime, you not come to the right place. But for Joey to not even be caught up on AOT and to be doing an AOT pod, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You know, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Because I'll say this much. I've seen my level of success on YouTube.
Tight
without
shit.
Without making a single dime off of it. But there are people that like I feel like have like come to respect my opinion on
Yeah.
this shit.
Let them know.
and
Let them
so,
know
like,
what you're not saying.
And so I've seen like group projects, even my own, to where like okay, we're trying to implement We're trying to implement
This
people
guy
watching
Archie,
this
man.
piece of content. We're trying to get this this is coming out. Let's make sure that we watch it. This is coming out. This is dropping. This news is hot. Let's try to capitalize on it type shit. And like at a certain point, yeah, you can't make another grown man like do something that they don't want to
Facts.
do.
Facts.
But
I mean,
also,
contractual
you have a
obligations
job.
can, I guess. You know. Shit.
even not even getting into like contracts, but like you have a job. Like you do this. You create
You have
content.
employees.
So why would you get on what's it called? Why would you get on camera like to do this job if like you're not gonna do the job?
Right.
Like there's no way that he found out like that day, hey, we're gonna talk about the ending of the biggest anime in the past 10
Oh
years.
no, I'm not caught up, guys. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
like-
It's okay, Joey. Just do it anyway. You'll be fine. That's not what
Like,
happened.
what are we,
That's not what
what are we
happened.
doing?
That's not what
I
happened.
don't believe that. I
And
don't
he
believe that at
and
all.
he was not even panicking. He was probably like, "Oh, well, I'm knocked it up or whatever. It don't matter." That was probably his reaction if that would have happened. But that didn't. There's no way that they knew it was coming
Problem.
out.
I'm about to say that's a problem. Like if that was his reaction, that was a problem. If he knew for weeks and didn't
You-
watch it,
You could tell,
no
bro.
problem.
You could tell by the way he was carrying himself during the pod. Bro, Alex, you're on my dick. Get off my dick, Alex. Get off my
What
dick.
did he
Okay.
say?
He said weird setup. Why not turn on Discord cam instead of OBS cam? I was reacting before I hopped on Discord. So first of all, you're on my dick. Second of all, you said River with dry ass lips is crazy. I just put chapstick on. You're on my dick.
Yeah.
See, there's Bryn. River's lips are always so juicy. Thank you, Bryn. Pause though. Trash taste.
What's
Yeah.
up?
Okay.
But with that podcast, yeah. Like
No.
I only really heard it indirectly, their opinions, and I'm like, sometimes I feel so bad for Gigguk. He's stuck
Yeah.
with those fools.
Hey, all right, don't worry. So I wanted to get your comments on the downfall of trash taste, man.
I mean, to be fair, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've never watched a full podcast of them. I cannot tolerate them.
They
Like, I've always just been a Gigguk guy. I have
Right.
Joey's has always been too annoying to me to ever watch his content.
Right.
And I mean, I like what's his name enough, but like, there's just times like this guy's too much of a fucking normie. I can't handle him.
Yeah.
like I love that he loves Bakano. It's one of my favorite things ever too. But like, shit, like he's just such a normie.
hmm
And like, I mean, it's like Gigguk's like, at least with Gigguk, he knows that he has bad taste. You know?
Right. With the isekai shit.
And like,
yeah.
I mean, I know the other dude definitely know their bad taste. But like, I don't know, like Gigguk at least takes it in like a way that I could at least like it. You know?
Mhm.
And I mean, of course, like I know that like Gigguk has been. I mean, I've watched his videos about like him loving AOT. You know,
Right.
so like I know he likes it. I know he cares about it. So of course, when he hears that like his two, I would probably say best friends, just like yeah, I don't fucking care. I didn't read any or watch anything about it. And like Connor, I think I saw the clip that Connor said like yeah, I watched like a little part of it and like it was so mad boring. Oh no,
Yeah, no,
he said
it
yeah.
was boring. Yeah, he finished it. He finished it, but he said it was boring. Joey's the one who didn't catch up at all.
Yeah, Joey. I knew Joey, but then that's Joey in general. That man doesn't watch anything.
Man,
Like, man,
no,
leave,
leave. We're not spoiling it. We're not spoiling the ending. I don't think.
No, we're not. But like,
We're not spoiling it.
no, we're not saying anything about it. Just much more the thoughts on it, or rather,
The downfall
Gigo's
of trash
just,
taste
like,
type shit.
yeah, just because like at least to be fair, like especially like I think in my opinion, having a whole podcast around bad taste is intriguing enough, but will get just boring after a while.
Right.
And I think that's why trash taste is just falling off.
hmm Just got boring. Like they got bored, and the audience also got bored.
That's
Yeah,
tough.
and that's why also the flow is on the rise.
Literally.
Yeah, but But yeah, so I don't know. Like, I've never really fully watched them. It's really just friends that I know that I like a lot who do watch them and tell me their like what they say.
Right. I know you had some opinions on it. Yeah.
There's like again, like of course, like I mean, dude, like they're again, all of them individually are decent people. I just get annoyed with them unless like because at least with Gigguk, like just like he's just at least funny enough that I could I could watch him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a lot of times like bro, like I feel that they're also kind of like they're a little bit sense like me who specifically want to say controversial shit just to get a rise out of people.
Right.
But I feel that the way I do it, like, you know, like I do it, but then completely explain myself. Like, okay, that makes much more sense. And plus, all of you know that I say shit on purpose like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and with them, like, I feel like the more they explain themselves, the bigger that they deep their the bigger they dig their hole, you know?
Yeah. It just makes it
And
worse.
I don't know, it's like,
Literally.
yeah, like they're again. I bet they're still like I mean they're always gonna have a following just because they are like one of the three biggest anime channels out there. Like all three of them have at least some of like I mean Giga probably is like always been known as like one of the big ones. Joey,
Yeah. Joey
not
was,
anymore.
I mean, yeah, not anymore. And then
Yeah, Joey was, and Connor's just there.
Yeah, like he was like kind of anime channel, I think at first, but he was never like
He just
fully. It
looks
was more
like
like the
VA.
culture, like the culture.
Yeah, he
shit.
just looks for just, like, that, and he mostly does like VA stuff, anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
the channel is called Connor VA or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know, like
cdawgva, I think. That's
yeah,
it.
cdawgva. Yeah, cdawgva. It's like he legit has VA in the word. I mean, there's a channel name, so like
Mhm.
he does that. But yeah. So again, there's not really an issue with them for me because like, I don't personally even watch them. But like I understand, like from what I know from everybody else, I've heard that their just quality is declining.